So about 6 years ago, I had what prophets, wise old men and business coaches call a blinding flash of the obvious. After about 20 years of building human-powered vehicles and Velmobiles in a shed, I'd reached pretty much the limit of what you could build in a shed. Both myself and my team had plateaued. We really weren't improving as much as we were previously, and what I realised was we needed to move. We were priced out of the market on the peninsula and we couldn't grow there, and our regional move was the obvious solution to this. It meant that I could have a larger facility where I could actually have purpose-built rooms for different processes. I could have larger, more advanced machinery. I could have dedicated workspaces and really set myself and my team loose to be able to actually develop human-powered vehicles and Velmobiles to the next level. The next year, and after about, 4 years of my life, I built this place. And then that little thing that we all lost 2 years doing happened, and I really didn't get to fire up this facility and actually stretch its legs and actually try out some of the setups and some of the machines and some of the things we put in, including a really large CNC router for routing our patterns. This project represents something of a takeoff of that, actually the beginning of actually setting this place alight and actually building rapid prototypes of Velmobiles and human-powered vehicles. So hang in and stay tuned for the adventure. To give the project a firm foundation, we opted to use the Tri-Sled Gen 3 chassis. This chassis features in both our Hornet and Aquila 3 models. It's 100% CAD modelled and designed. It's very well proven and very popular among the community. So we thought it would be a good basis, as it would not take away from the rest of the project and enable us to focus on getting the mould shop working properly. Also, because it's largely my role around Tri-Sled to design chassis work, this part was already done, which freed up my time for keeping the factory running while we were embarking on this project, as well as being, the problem solver and fault finder along the way in the project, rather than being bogged down with the chassis. This freed up Jono and Ken to focus on the CNC routing and the creating of the first part out of the foams. I gave Jono the gig of designing the body for this bike, as he's modelling some really good stuff right now, and I wanted to encourage that, as well as the fact that it's a good opportunity for us to co-design so that we can learn to work better together for future projects. Here's Jono's CAD model, taking in both my original chassis design plus a wonderful 3D scan that he's prepared. You can see that he's got some awesome parametrics there, and he's got a pretty clear idea of what his limits are, and he can design, and he's actually designed several bodies in there, I believe, and this is the one he's chosen. I gave him a reasonably clear directive, which I feel he's delivered on, and that was make it look a little bit like everything, because that's the whole point of this project, is to sort of be a demonstrating thing. So to grab some lines from, all of the major builders and some inspiration to fit our Gen 3 chassis, as I said before, so that it was a bolt-on and plug-and-play arrangement towards the end of the project, and also just to demonstrate that we can make things relate back and forth. I said not to get too clever about it, so that we didn't get anything that was going to challenge us, so that everything would just bolt up and work. And I asked him to throw in a few of his own ideas. And as you'll see later in the project, one of my favourites of his ideas is this wonderful 2-point hinge clamshell design. So I guess overcoming a lot of the difficulties that clamshell builds often have. It's nicely triangulated and should work really well with the slam latches and the doors. Having all this awesome data and these scans is really a pleasure to design things with, and I think he's done a great job. Here's some of his cam action, showing some of the cam work he did just before we ran it on the machine. And from here we'll jump into the build montage. Okay, we're at the 3-week mark. This is what we got so far. These are our 2 fiberglass, I guess you call them originals, which have come out of the foams. We make them in fiberglass the first time around for a few reasons. One, it makes it a little bit more easy to see. You can actually see through parts when you're test fitting and so on. Second is we can't pull vacuum on a foam part, so the first part has to be wet laminated. Given it's wet laminated, using high performance fabrics is probably of not much value, and so we just stick with fiberglass and keep the costs reasonable. You'll see there's some little surface stuff going on here from laminating in the foam. Now it's not as bad as it looks, because the cool part about laying into the CNC foam is there is only lows there, there's no highs. So I can go ahead now and use some high build primers and I can level this out. It's been a massive push from Ken and Jono to get to this point. And now it's my turn. We've got 3 days before we leave for the event we're hoping to show this at. So it's my gig to make this thing look pretty. So here we have one primer and a whole bunch of body filler on the parts. Cake decorating enthusiasts, this is your time to shine. If you've worked through the Woman's Weekly Birthday Cake Cookbook and you've made the choo-choo train, get in touch. We might give you a job. Don't eat the icing this time though. Fine finish experts might be a little horrified here, but remember, I only have lows to fill. I don't have any highs because of the precision of the part underneath. So we can go pretty hard at this. We'll put on a whole bunch of filler, I'll put another primer on, and then we'll go pretty hard with the sander as well, and we'll get this fairly flat, I would say, before we can start getting serious about making it look shiny. So we made it to the event with the vehicle. I didn't get a whole bunch of shots of the assembly there because it was a bit of a push to get it into the van and over here in Adelaide. But here we are on location in Adelaide showing off what we built, and the response has been really strong. It's been really fun. Probably should point out that this is what we would call a rapid prototype if it's not immediately obvious. It's a mock-up using obviously fiberglass and not a production vehicle. And the wonderful thing about that is we get to show this vehicle to people and we get to actually get their opinions on it and what they do like about the usability aspects of it before we take it to production. The response has been really strong here, as I said, and we've really enjoyed showing it, and we look forward to seeing where this goes. I'm going to see if I can find Jono, who's around here somewhere actually, because obviously this shape is his and whole way through the project, so it'd be interesting to grab his insights. So I found Jono, and here he is beside the baby, and we're on location. Tell us, how's it been, Jono? What do you think? What are your insights on the project? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you never want to see it again? Do you want to build another one?
I love it. Yeah, I want to build another one for sure. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. I like the process. The finished part's pretty cool, but the process has been, the thing that's really cool. I'm happy with how it's turned out. Given the quick development cycle, I think that's been really pretty awesome outcome.
And what do you think, Sam? Sam's here on location, and Sam is something of an expert in HPVs, and he's sitting inside the vehicle here, and he's putting his hat on to make sure he maintains his coolness. And he's having a little bit of pedal around. Thoughts, Sam? What do you think?
Yeah, seems like it would become a thing.
Does it feel like a ball one? Just like a ball one?
Yeah,
it feels like a ball one.
Pretty complete already.
As always, if you enjoyed this project, you'll probably like some of the other stuff we did. So like and subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers!